The harder you work, the more likely you are to stay broke for life. Not because you lack grit, but because you are buying the wrong things. A lot of middle-class people grind to earn more, then grind again to buy fake assets. They think they are building wealth. In reality, they are building future bills. They think they are investing. In reality, they are being harvested. Friends, hello, I am Munger. I lived 99 years, and the saddest thing I have seen is not poor people struggling. It is the middle class staying busy for nothing. Let me be clear up front. This is not stock advice. This is not insurance advice. I am only talking about one underlying principle: cash flow, cost, and whether you actually understand what you are buying. Every product has a use case, but for 99% of ordinary households, any asset whose fee structure you cannot explain is usually a fake asset. Why the middle class gets hollowed out. I have met thousands of smart, hard-working, well-educated people, doctors, lawyers, engineers, senior executives, in their professions. They are razor sharp. They earn a few $100,000 a year, sometimes more. By all logic, they should be wealthy. But the reality is this: many of them retire at 65 with empty bank accounts, still carrying debt, living off thin pensions. It is not that they did not work hard. It is not bad luck. There is usually one core reason. They spent their entire lives tirelessly buying fake assets. They thought they were building wealth. They thought they were investing. They were being harvested. Financial institutions, consumerist advertising, and so-called traditional wisdom together, they wove a net, and 99% of the middle class walked right into it. Today I am not telling you how to make more money. I am telling you how to plug the massive leak that drains it. I am going to expose 5 fake assets I refuse to touch. But most people chase like moths to a flame. Before we begin, understand one concept. It is almost insultingly simple. What is an asset? Wall Street likes definitions that are complicated enough to hide the truth. They will tell you a house, a car, and a designer bag are all assets. But wealthy people use a simpler definition. A real asset is something that puts money into your pocket whether you work or not. Dividends, interest, rent, something that can mail you a check. A fake asset does the opposite. It takes money out of your pocket, no matter how expensive it looks. If it makes you pay monthly interest, maintenance, insurance, and fees, then it is a liability. It is a fake asset. Remember this line: price increases are a reward, not a definition. The definition is only one thing. Does it mail you a check, or does it force you to pay? Most people's tragedy is this: they spend a lifetime savings buying money, sucking fake assets, and then they call it wealth. It is like filling a bathtub with 5 big holes in it. You can work harder, pour faster. You still cannot keep water in. The moment you stop working, the tub goes dry. That is why high-income doctors and lawyers can go broke. They become servants of their assets, not owners. I built wealth, not because I was smarter than everyone else, but because I despised fake assets. I do not waste money on things that produce no cash flow, depreciate, and still require constant feeding. I like productive assets, the kind that can grow on their own and mail me checks. If you want to be truly wealthy in 10 or 20 years, you must learn to recognize these 5 wealth killers. They dress up as security, lifestyle, and investing. If you do not cross them off, you can earn a fortune and still end up with nothing. Ready? Let us expose the first one, the most expensive, and the most addictive fake asset. First fake asset: constantly upgrading to new cars, especially luxury cars. This fake asset might be sitting in your driveway right now. It is rarely marketed as an investment. It is sold as a symbol of success, a reward for hard work. The advertisers say, you deserve a better car. Your neighbors upgraded. Your coworkers upgraded. If you do not upgrade, you feel left behind. So you take on a loan and buy a $70,000 new car. You breathe in the new car smell, and you feel successful. But financially, this may be one of the worst decisions you can make. Why is a new car a fake asset? First, it produces no cash flow. It only consumes cash second, and more deadly. It depreciates immediately. The moment you drive off the lot, it often drops 10% to 20%. Money evaporates. If you finance the purchase, it becomes a mathematical double suicide. You pay interest on something guaranteed to shrink. And it does not end there. Luxury cars cost more to insure, more to maintain, more to fuel. Those are continuous cash outflows. But the most dangerous hidden killer is this opportunity cost. Let me run a simple illustration. No prediction, just a demonstration. Suppose you buy a $50,000 new car every 5 years. You think, I spent $50,000. Wrong. If instead you buy a reliable $10,000 used car and invest the $40,000 difference into a broad index fund at a long-run common return range, say 7% to 10%, over 30 years the gap is often hundreds of thousands, sometimes close to $1 million. You heard that right, one car choice can eat decades of compounding. This is why the middle class cannot save. The money they earn flows through the car funnel into car manufacturers, banks, and insurance companies. They become a pass-through account for wealth. There are two types of people. One wants to look rich, luxury cars, luxury watches, empty bank accounts. The other wants to be rich, ordinary car, ordinary house, and a large base of productive assets. I drove plenty of beat-up cars in my life. People mocked me. Why not a Ferrari? Because I understand compounding. I refuse to waste millions on the road. If you want wealth, the first step is this. Break the addiction to new cars. Treat a car as a tool, not an identity. Buy a reliable used car. Drive it until it dies. Put the savings into real assets. That is the first brick in sealing the leak. Second fake asset, whole life insurance, universal life, participating policies, and similar products. This is one of the biggest wealth killers for the middle class. It is a trap 90% of households can fall into, and it is a goldmine for many advisors. The sales pitch is perfectly engineered. You need insurance anyway, so buy one that builds cash value. Protection plus investment growth. Forced saving, tax-free growth. Withdraw in retirement. It sounds like a financial magic trick. But I am telling you, it is often mathematical poison. What is insurance? At its core, risk transfer. It is consumption. What is investing? At its core, wealth creation. It is compounding. Mixing them is like buying a vehicle that is both a car and a boat. It will not drive fast on land. It will not sail well on water. And it costs more than buying each. Salespeople will not emphasize the key truth. The early fees can be extremely heavy. The exact split depends on product, region, and channel. But in many cases, your first dollars go to commissions and expenses first. You think you are investing, but the money walks in the door and gets sliced. Then, for many years, the insurer deducts management fees, mortality charges, and profit margins, before a smaller portion flows into the investment account. You are running with a sandbag on your back. You can work hard and still go nowhere. I have seen many cases like this. People pay for 10, 20, even 30 years. Only to find the cash value grows far less than the marketing implied, often failing to beat inflation, and certainly failing to match long-term index compounding. That is the signature of a fake asset. It promises your future while quietly eating your present. If instead you make the cleaner decision, buy simple term life insurance for protection, often a few $100s a year is enough, and invest the difference into a broad index fund, the long-term gap can be hundreds of thousands, even over $1 million. Where did the difference go? Into the insurer's glass skyscrapers, into the salesperson's incentives. It is a wealth transfer in plain sight. So my rule is simple. If you need protection, buy cheap term insurance. If you need investing, buy stocks or funds. Do not blend them. For most middle-class households, whole life insurance is not an asset. It is decades of expensive, low-efficiency capital lockup. It exploits fear of the future. It exploits lack of expertise. And it locks you into contracts that often lag reality. If you want wealth, you must say no to perfect-sounding products and put your money where it works efficiently, not where it feeds middlemen. Third fake asset, gold and cryptocurrencies as a retirement foundation. Some people will object. Gold is real money, a hedge, a legacy asset. Bitcoin is digital gold, the future currency. But to me, they share one label. Non-productive assets. They produce no cash flow. They do not mail you dividends. They do not generate rent. They do not create operating profit. Let me put it even more plainly. I will not argue faith. I will ask one question only. Can it reliably generate cash flow for you? If not, do not make it the core asset of your retirement plan. At most, treat it as a hedge or a speculation sleeve. Do not hand your compounding engine over to emotion and volatility. When you buy gold, you are betting a future buyer pays more. Crypto is even more dependent on narrative, sentiment, and speculation. These assets lack the cash flow backbone that businesses have. Putting your main savings into them is like burying money in the ground. It does not grow by itself. And the opportunity cost is severe. Every dollar you put into gold or crypto could have been placed into productive assets that work while you sleep. So what is real risk protection? Not hugging a shiny rock or a line of code. Real protection is owning assets that can survive cycles and keep creating value. People who treat gold or crypto as an investment holy grail often discover, too late, they fell into another fake asset trap. Fourth fake asset, vacation homes or idle real estate with no cash flow. The fourth fake asset I avoid is the vacation home, or any property left mostly empty. Consumer culture packages it as a high-quality lifestyle. They even call it inflation-resistant investing. Many people save for they tell themselves, we will use it sometimes, and later we will sell it for a gain. But in my view, this is often self-deception dressed as strategy. It does not produce cash flow, and it keeps draining you like a vampire. To be fair, if you can rent it consistently and the cash flow is positive, then it is not a fake asset. But the common reality is you use it rarely. Renting is unstable, and ownership is expensive. A real estate asset is defined by rent, whether you personally use it or not. It mails you a check. A vacation home often sits empty most of the year. No rent, but the bills keep coming. Association fees, repairs, property taxes, heating, management. Each one is cash flowing out of your pocket. And here is the deadly part. The appreciation is uncertain, but the expenses are certain. I have seen many people trapped. Maintenance costs rise. They do not go often. Renters do not show up. Selling becomes difficult, and they dump it at a discount. Now run opportunity cost. You spend $500,000 buying an idle vacation home, pay $20,000 a year in upkeep, and it sits vacant. If instead you invested that $500,000 into productive assets that generate steady dividends or earnings, you could receive real cash flow. With the vacation home, you get the reverse. No income plus ongoing outflow. One path compounds forward. The other compounds backward. Many people confuse real estate with asset. They forget the key principle. A property is not an asset because it is pretty. It is an asset only if it mails you a check. An idle property with no rent is a wealth black hole. It devours your savings and your future income. If you want vacations, rent for a few days. You avoid upkeep. You stay flexible. Financially, that is often the superior choice. Fifth fake asset, complex wealth products and financial derivatives you do not understand. The fifth and the most hidden fake asset is this: complex, glossy wealth products and derivatives. Financial institutions love one thing, taking something simple and making it complicated. They use words like professional, exclusive, high yield, hedge to confuse you. They know. The less the middle class understands, the more high-end it feels, the safer it seems, the easier it sells. Structured products, option-linked notes, trust products with embedded clauses. They sound sophisticated, but many of them are engineered to harvest. Why are they fake assets? 3 core reasons. First, high and opaque fees, management fees, custody fees, sales commissions, hidden spread. You think you will earn the expected return, but after fees, the real return can be far lower, sometimes negative. Second, uncontrolled risk. Many derivative risks are not even fully understood by the people selling them. The payoff depends on multiple moving parts. Some break in the chain, and you can lose big third. No stable cash flow. Many pay only at maturity. No dividends. No rent, no interest stream. You are not building income, you are betting on price. That is speculation, not investing. Here is the harsh version. For institutions, derivatives are tools. For ordinary families, they often function like casinos. The complexity you cannot explain is usually the space where someone else gets paid. Warren and I followed a lifetime rule. We do not touch what we do not understand. We prefer simple, transparent assets with knowable cash flows, shares in good businesses, real estate that rents, equity in strong enterprises. Complex products are frequently built to monetize the middle class's desire for shortcuts. Real wealth accumulation does not require complexity. It requires discipline. Put money into productive assets you understand. Let cash flow and compounding do the work and wait. Friends, I lived 99 years. I watched too many smart people grow old in financial fragility. Too many high earners retire without security. The core pattern was the same. They spent their money on fake assets, things that do not produce money and keep consuming money. Remember this. The only standard for an asset is cash flow. No matter how shiny, no matter how rare, no matter how respectable. If it forces you to feed it every month, and it cannot mail you a check. It is a fake asset. It is a wealth killer. These 5 fake assets are constantly upgrading to new cars, whole life insurance, gold and crypto as a retirement foundation, idle vacation homes, and complex wealth product. 99% of the middle class buys them. I refuse to. Here is a 10-second self-test. How much does it take from my pocket each month? If I stop working, how much does it reliably pay me? If I need to exit, how painful is the cost? If the answers are, it keeps taking money, it has no steady cash flow, and exiting is expensive, then no matter how classy it looks, it is a fake asset. If you want real freedom in retirement, start today. Cross these items off your list. Take the money you save and put it into productive assets that can grow and mail you checks. Quality stocks, rent-producing property, equity in durable businesses. Wealth is not built by earning more alone. It is built by keeping what you earn, plugging the leaks, and letting money work for you instead of you working for fake assets. That is how you compound time and become truly wealthy.